I hope that wasn't how you asked her to marry you.
I thought about it, but no.
So tell us a little bit about your first date.
Our first date, well, we actually had talked about it in text for a whole week before we went out. And we had talked about how I like the movie Despicable Me, I like cartoons. And he took me up to Rose's Diner. We had dinner up there, and we went back to his house and watched Despicable Me and just hung out and talked afterwards. I thought it was a great date.
Ruth's Diner.
You got me.
Now he's a romantic.
Yeah.
It
Didn't know that.
was so fun. There were two
Turned
women
out to
there.
be pretty good,
Yeah, two women there acoustically playing guitar. It was great.
That's great. There's more to that story.
Let's hear. Come on, Christy, help.
No, I don't know. I just based on her response.
I didn't kiss her the first date.
Good.
I wanted to.
He wanted to kiss you when he asked you out.
Kristen, were you going to ask something? Were you going to ask something?
I would like to know something you love about each other.
I'll go. I love the fact that Natalie is one of the many things I love about her is that she's so hardworking and that she always finds energy, though, when she's with me to be excited and happy, even after these 12-hour days that she puts in. And so I thought that was great.
One thing I love about Kory, Leroy. One thing I love about Leroy is ever since our first date, he will talk to me. I've never been on a date with anybody who will just communicate, and it's so easy. We can talk about anything, and ever since it's kind of helped build a foundation where there's trust and honesty, and I don't know. It's so nice to communicate with a guy. I love that about him.
So when did you actually kiss her?
The fourth or fifth date?
That is good.
Yeah. The second one I tried, she said no. The third one I tried, she said no.
Yes! I think it lasted the fourth.
Yeah.
So, like, you asked, can I kiss you? And she said no?
Pretty much, yeah. I was like this far away, and she knew it was coming.
He sounds so awkward talking about it.
Kory needs a little more detail. What happened?
So when did you first know that it was something special? Before you knew you were in love, when did you know that it was something different?
For me, it kind of just grew more and more. It was never just like one precise moment. But I remember when we went to Las Vegas to meet her parents, I knew I really liked her already then. But it was spending that 3 days together that I was like, geez, I really get along with her really well.
I kind of knew on the first date. The first date was good enough that I knew I wanted to date him more. I told him I didn't want to date him more, but I knew I wanted to. The communication you're talking about.
So when a girl says no, she really means yes? No, I get it.
Anybody else?
What's the game plan after Las Vegas, the marriage down in Las Vegas? What's going to happen after? I'm sure everyone wants to know.
What do you mean, like where are you going to move?
She's starting to go red and he can feel it as the
And that's a lot for Jim.
calling home.
You just say what happened to Vegas stage. We actually just found last weekend his old commission companion he has a basement apartment. The next one next door is empty, and so we just got that actually this week. And we're planning on moving in before the end of the year, so we can come back from the honeymoon and just have our stuff already there, because no one's been living there for a year.
Salt Lake, Ogden.
It's in Holiday.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Ogden.
Thank you.
Nothing wrong with
Where are you going on your cruise?
Yeah.
We'll spend 2 nights in Las Vegas, and then we'll go up to the cabin somewhere, Camas or something.
The really old ones.
The really old.
It's not
For a
our
couple
week,
nights.
but
This is Uncle Ben's cabin.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
It's a little cabin. That's all I know.
When did you tell each other that you loved each other?
Good question. I told her on the way down to Las Vegas, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
first time meeting my parents, you know, when he cut his hair.
2 or 3 hours into the drive. And then she waited like another week or 2 to tell me.
So it's a 6-hour drive, and you did it 2 or 3 hours in. How did the second or the last drive?
Not as good as I had hoped.
Reciprocated.
Yeah. She kind of told me though she's not ready for the L word, because I'd said something like, I really, really, really like you. And then motion that I was going to say the other one soon or something like that, joking with her. And this was like a few days before that. And so then when I actually told her, I was really nervous. She like made me really nervous about it.
I made you nervous about a lot of things.
That's one of the few times you don't want to hear thanks.
I know. It was just a really long pause, and I didn't know what to do. It was like she got that from her mom. Just a really long pause.
So, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I told him I loved him, we took a hike up to Secret Lake. And I'm such a dork. I'm a cheese ball, and I told him I had a secret, and I said, I love you. That was the first time I told him. Thank you. I love you.
What's something you each love about the other's family?
Oh my gosh, that's easy. So easy. All of his siblings are so down to earth. Both of his parents are. It's so fun. They'll give me hugs. They hug me. It's such a, they've created a safe place in their home for me, where it just feels like I'm going home. And she's a great cook, because I have those allergies, and it's like, I can go there and eat.
Aww.
And I don't have to go out to eat. I don't know. It's a good place to be.
What high praise.
Say.
Wow, you
Wow.
passed the test. Kory's still in the hot seat, but you guys are in.
It sounds like Natalie was just really looking for someone who would talk to her and someone who would give her hugs.
That's what we're good for. That's about it. Don't expect that. What I loved is from the moment I started meeting everybody, I kind of met everybody at different times, and I still am. But I've always just felt like it's family. It's not just a new acquaintance. I've always felt that love, and so that's just been really nice to me.
What do you have in common? What's similar about you?
We both worked at a car wash.
Long happy marriage.
Long hair.
We both have long hair.
That's probably what's so interesting about our relationship is there's a lot of different angles going on at the same time.
We both have really good senses of humor, I've noticed. Our sense of humor goes well with one another. And we're both very good at communicating, I feel, with one another.
I find everything funny. That's a very good common quality.
That is.
We both love spending time with our families and with each other's families.
What's your favorite outdoor activity?
Cleaning cars.
No, mine's pretty much like guns and hunting, stuff like that. I'd say that's my favorite.
Which I've started enjoying. He takes me now. I get to go with these guys. I'll show me these big guns, and I don't even know the names. I shoot them though.
That's awesome.
Lots of fun. We went hiking a lot. We did a lot of bonfires in the summer.
Did you feel a little bit like a missionary again when you were having to have the conversation with Uncle Mike? Like how did the conversation go?
It's not,
We
it's
do
not
not have
Mike.
enough time for that, I can promise you.
Is Rosie the problem?
Yeah, she brought a notepad, if that gives you an idea.
With questions, or was she taking notes on the spot?
Questions and answers.
Did she smile during the interview, or was it all straight face?
It started very straight, but afterwards I got to smile. I was relieved when she started smiling more.
She ever look away or just log
No,
on?
it was locked on.
Any more details? What was on the notepad? What questions was she asking?
She asked questions kind of like what you guys are asking some of them. I mean, what do you love about Natalie? What are you going to do to provide for her? Stuff like that. What kind of things do you want to implement in your own family?
Did she write down answers?
Oh, yeah. My favorite part, yeah, my favorite part was when she asked Mike if he wants to write anything down. He goes, oh, yeah, sure.
I like him.
It was very brief, though.
Alright, anything else?
Yeah, what are your future plans with the locks that you chopped out?
I want to answer that. I want them back. I liked his long hair a lot.
Oh, it's coming again, yeah.
How did you guys get the proposal done? Or how did you propose?
Take notes, David.
Yeah, looking for advice.
Does anybody have a notebook? That's right. James our translator.
We looked at rings, and she kind of had an idea what she wanted. And so it was supposed to take 5 to 6 weeks for them to make it. So she thought it was going to happen in a month, 2 months, something like that. But they ended up being able to make it in 2 weeks. And so I just had said, hey, I want to go walk around the Draper Temple. It was since she lives right next to it. I said, yeah, I've never really walked around. I've been there numerous times, but never walked around.
I fell for it. I totally fell for it. I thought you were going to go hang out at the temple. Hang out at the temple.
So I just hid it in my sock. And we started walking. I didn't even make it probably 15 feet on the lawn and got down on one knee and asked her. And I think she at first thought I was joking because she was like, no, don't. Because I'd been telling her I was going to joke with her a little bit about it. And when I actually pulled out the ring, then she was like, oh, wow, you're really doing it.
I think I closed the box and handed it back to him and gave him a hug. I said yes, obviously, but
Yes, thank
I
goodness.
think I closed it. Give it back.
What's your most memorable date?
For me, it's when we made tinfoil dinners and we went up the canyon. And that was at the very beginning. But that was one of my favorites. We sat, it was so cold. But, I mean, we talked and it was a lot of fun. We sat by the fire. That was one of my favorites because we had to talk and wait for the food.
It took forever to cook that tinfoil dinner. It was like our 3rd or 4th date, I think.
It was so fun.
It had to be our 5th.
I don't remember the light the fire.
Yeah.
Actually, ours was so little, the guys below us left and said, do you guys want to take ours? We've been there a long time. It was cold.
My favorite date, we went up to the hot springs. That was a fun one up in Spanish Fork Canyon. We just hiked up it. It was like a night hike, so we hiked in during the night. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. We've had a lot of fun dates, though.
It was an awkward one. With your friends.
The hike part, though, was fun, yeah. My friends,
Well, I bet in those hot springs it can be awkward depending on
I think they even post how awkward it could be.
Yes. I took my kids.
How are some ways that do complement each other?
Nice shirt.
but yeah. sometimes I can be really impatient, and she's really good at just calming me down, telling me, just hold on, just wait, it'll work out. And that's something I really like about her. So. Do I do anything to compliment you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's hard to think of one thing though.
I can tell one thing actually already just watching you, how calm he is and how mellow and how you guys, I think that compliments you really well. So he's not intimidated by us, that's for sure.
Oh, I am. I'm just keeping my cool though.
Doing a good job. No, I've been with him a lot. He really is calm and very calming for Natalie. Like, I agree. That is so true.
It's not playing basket games.
Crazy.
Talk about that.
High energy.
High energy.
So how many times did you meet Mike and Rosie before you had to have that conversation?
Once.
The first time?
I admit, what was it, twice or once? I think it was one trip we made, and then I drove up again.
The I love you trip.
The I love you trip, and then the next trip was when I asked for the hand.
Alright.
You drove down special. You made the trip in one day.
What was your first reaction to meeting each other's parents?
Well, he took me home to meet them on the first date. Word on the street is he's never taken anybody home. But he took me home on the first date.
What was your reaction meeting them though?
Honestly, I don't remember it that well because I was so nervous that he was taking me home, period. First date. I don't know, you guys were nice. I remember feeling friendly. But
It was a brief meeting that first
it
time.
was really brief.
The first time I met Mike and Rosie, so we got in late to Las Vegas, so they were already asleep, I think. So the next morning I woke up to a green smoothie from Rosie, which was really nice. And I loved that immediately. And then they were both already dressed and ready to go to take on the date. And I was still groggy. You know, it's 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. and I'm just now waking up and they're already wanting to talk about everything. But I loved them immediately. They were so loving. Just like somebody was saying how they'll get in your face and just pause and say how much they love you. The whole trip I heard that from them, so which was nice.
Anybody else?
Well, you've passed, Kory. We think you did a really good job.
Let's give him a round of applause.
We're happy for you. It's a great couple. Heidi, who knows about the gifts? Why don't you, I don't know which gifts go with which. Is Heidi going?
I'm right here.
Will you come do the gifts honors? You sit in this chair. And here's what I wondered if we could do. Well, Heidi was in charge of the group gift, which we appreciate, and then some brought their own. And I want to tell you that we'd like to hear from all of you to give Kory and Natalie either a Christmas memory or tradition. You might want to offer to them a piece of wonderful marriage advice out of this group, or a favorite memory. And so I'd like to start with my favorite memory with Natalie, of which I have many. Actually, I'm going to have to tell two. The first one is when Mike called me from the hospital to say you were here and what your name was. And I ran right up. And actually, he called to say that you were on your way, that Rosie was in the hospital, so I went right up. And as soon as they delivered you, I was out in the hall, and Mike put you in my arms, delivered you to my arms, and told me your name and let me be the first one to paint you. And I have loved you ever since. I'm grateful that you are a clean and beautiful woman. My favorite memory is when Natalie was 3, and I was taking her on a birthday date. And I called her to say, Natalie, are you ready? This was out on Lucky Clover. This is Nanny. I'm coming to get you tomorrow for your birthday date. And I'll be there, you know, whatever, at 3 o'clock. We're going to go to Kid Gas, and we're going to go get something to eat, and we'll take, you know, we're going to have a really good time. And she said, no, come now. No, honey, I love you. You need to watch Sesame Street, go to bed, wake up, have breakfast, and then I'll be there to get you. No, come now. Finally, I said, Natalie, honey, I can't come right now. You're going to have to go to bed, but I will be there, you know, right after breakfast in the morning. I can't wait to spend our day with you. There was a pause that you learned from your mother, and then you said, I hate you. say to you, I adore you. Well, I love you. I do love you.
Did you show up the next day?
Oh, absolutely. Very good. And I had a ball with her. So, if you had presents, whoever is giving them, please, we want to hear from you. Okay?
This isn't part of the group gift. This is just from. Oh, you can check for your name, Nicole. Was it part of the group gift?
No.
Very excited. Thank you.
Subpoena Supreme Luxury. Clean to the sheets.
Just what I always wanted.
A memory I have of Natalie, just that's fun, is a year or two ago, was at Christmas. I procrastinated everything like I do sometimes. And it was like the week before Christmas, I had all this shopping to do and so much to do. Kate was a newborn, I think. She came up and tended my kids the whole day while I went shopping and got all my Christmas stuff in. And she cleaned my house the whole time that I was gone. And then I think she like wrapped. And then she like worked her full head off the whole day. And Natalie is a very hard worker. And she's responsible and organized and willing and giving. And she's helped me a lot over the years. So thank you, Natalie.
I don't remember that, but that sounds good.
I will never forget it.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. I had one other little gift that went with that. It has
I'm so
red
sorry.
and green wrapping paper. It was a Christmas tradition.
Oh, it's right here, hon.
Oh, and this is like a tradition that's fun and might be fun too when you're at the cabin.
Whoa.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I don't know what this is. I wasn't part of this.
This is light-hearted tradition. Oh dear, I'll be let down.
Dress your own snowman.
How cute!
So which one of you is the snowman?
This is really fun story. Thank you. We love it. I feel like there's more stories.
Thank you, Nicole.
I'm going to read these names. This is the group gift. These purple ones right here are the group gift. I'm going to just read them because there's a lot of them, okay? So we can go through them. Do you want them to open them while we're doing it? We'll get going with each one. So a lot of people called, said how much they love you and stuff. I know some of them can't be here. They're out of town. So the first one was Aunt Natalie, Uncle Jim. Do you want to add her piggyback? Jim, go.
Advice.
Advice?
Tradition, whatever.
Well, I'll tell you one tradition that's been kind of fun, and that's that when Christmas or Christmas Eve has not fallen on a Sunday, we try to go skiing.
Oh, that's fun.
As a family, it's been really fun.
You take all the kids or just you guys?
There's some presents under the tree. We'll be back in 6 hours. Kory, you ski or snowboard?
A little bit of snowboard, yeah.
Aunt Katie, Uncle Chris, family, and Carly and Matt. So I guess you could.
I was going to say a favorite memory, just as kids when we would come visit from Colorado. I loved going to the nighters because I just thought, and still do, think that Natalie is so fun. She is really good at finding fun, and we would play flashlight tag in their house for hours and hours and hours. And I'm sure Mike and Rosie loved hearing us run around through the house all night long. But I loved it. I thought it was so fun. It was one of my favorite memories.
Caitlin and, I skipped over. Jane and Ben. In our family, we grew up having this wooden star. One of you probably gave it to my mom, and you do something nice at Christmas, and then you leave the star, and then that person has to do something nice and leave the star. So we made
little start.
Awesome.
I thought she was going to say, and then one of you has to guess who gave it to you.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky for a few years. As you get older, it gets a lot easier.
You made it tricky. That is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caitlin and Darren.
One tradition we have is on Christmas Eve we get in our PJs and go look at the lights with the family. I think that's really cute.
That's cute. Jessica,
Wait, Darren?
Darren?
I took Darren.
It looked like they were deciding who was in charge of that. Oh.
I didn't know what the question was.
And you know, Max, did you want to say advice or anything?
Oh, I did. I think so.
Oh, I'm full of advice.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
I would say the more you help out with the housework, the happier your marriage will be.
That was very telling, actually.
Good. I like the laundry.
That's impressive.
Yeah, start.
Marie and Jim.
Jim's got it.
So, which worries people, I know. When Ray turns it over to me. But so we have a tradition. We like to go places and travel, and wherever we go, we like to find Christmas ornaments. So we brought you two Christmas ornaments from somewhere we've been. So first one is a little China man from Hong Kong.
Wow.
We think about him as one of the Chinese wise men.
Yeah. He must be one of the wise men from the East.
The Orient. Yeah.
He's just. But we bought him on the streets of Hong Kong, and this guy is called a Julebocken. He's a little Swedish goat, and I don't know what goats have to do with Christmas, but in Sweden they have everything to do with Christmas. And so this is one of them. So.
Can you write it down as Julebocken?
Julebocken, yeah.
You broke it.
That's wonderful. Katie and Shane? Katie?
One of the things that my family did that I think a lot of people do, but something that I've always loved, is we would get up on Christmas morning and they'd let us look in our stockings, but then we would stop and we would eat breakfast together as a family before we opened presents, and it just kind of reminded us, you know, what it was all about.
Aunt Arwella?
Our tradition is in the box.
The red?
One with
No, that's mine.
I don't know what tradition she was. It's the one with the bell on it.
I'll just keep going. We'll get there.
There we go. That's it.
Kory.
Oh,
This is part of her Christmas tradition. Aunt Arwella's. Do you want to tell them that? I have a roll this one. Does housework include
How beautiful, Natalie. Look at those eyes. Wow.
Cuisinart. Wow.
That's nice.
Thanks, guys.
So Natalie, show those. I don't know if you can lift them, but everybody who's talked already and who's yet to talk, there's a gorgeous pot and pan set and knives from the cousins. So that's really, I hope if you use those, you'll think of all of us.
Absolutely. Here's the knives. Awesome. Kory, do anything?
And knives. Okay, you're opening Arwella's, and she's just about to tell you about it.
Every year, we read an inspirational book together at Christmas time, and we included in there the one that we read this year and really enjoyed. And then that's the other part is the ornaments. It's a garland, chestnut garland.
Oh. How did you do that?
How did you do it? Yeah, you just draw it. It's really easy when they're green.
That is adorable.
It's really easy when it's like this entire box and you're wondering.
It's really easy for us about 4 or 5.
The book's called The Joy of Full Surrender.
What a wonderful tradition.
Sorry, we like to read together. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
When you store the chestnuts, don't put them in plastic. Just always have them in a box.
We'll just keep the box.
Jesse thought you could add that to your snowman now.
He said that.
I say this at every one of these events, so it's probably getting really old, but my advice is to pray together every night. And we got that advice, and we did that for about a month or two. And then, and then a couple years went by, and then I realized that we needed to do it again, and we haven't missed a day in over a year. And it's been really amazing, so I would just strongly encourage you to kneel together at the end of every day. And it can be hard when your day is hectic, but just when the first person goes to bed, you have to grab the other person, and that's how you do it.
Grace?
We kind of haven't done a lot of Christmas traditions this season, right? But this is when I want to start this year. As we were growing up, whenever we'd open up our stockings, there would always be an orange and a piece of peppermint. And that is from our great grandma who, I guess, you know, one Christmas all they got was peppermint and an orange. And the older sister was so excited that there was an orange, she stole it before everyone woke up, went out, ate the entire orange and the rind. She was so hungry, and just, it was such a luxury, and she was so sad after she'd eaten it that she just started bawling. And so it just I love, you know, opening up presents, and then at the bottom, at the end of the stocking, there's always an orange and a piece of peppermint to remember really when times are good and when times are bad, but just to be grateful for what you have. And then my advice is to, when you're married or when you're engaged, or just the couple weeks when you kind of get back to your house and organize things, to say, hey, it's really important for me to have the bathroom clean, or it's really important for me to have the kitchen clean, or whatever. And it's interesting, as spouses and partners, you have different areas. Like James really likes the family room clean, and I could care less about that. But the kitchen has to be clean. So it's just nice to say, and to be a good roommate. I think just be a good roommate always helps. You know, take care of yourself, clean up after yourself. It's not Natalie's job to do the dishes always, and it's not always your job to, you know, mow the lawn or whatever. You know, be equal partners. So that's my advice.
Well, just to clarify, it was our Nana, the late Ronnie, who ate the orange.
Oh. Is that written anywhere? Or is
I don't
it
think
just...
so. I don't think so. And it was her mother. Okay, so Grandma Carol's mother, the late Romney, was her mother, her grandmother, Cynthia Celestia Bunker, who wrote "We Should Merry Christmas," which we'll sing again. So that's just fun.
Okay, Uncle Mark?
Well, I would like to invoke Uncle Mike, since he's not here to represent himself. And he is famous to me for 4 simple words. You know, there are phrases that are important, and he has come up with the most important 4-letter phrase, 4-word phrase I've ever heard, and it's mostly directed to you, Leroy.
Okay.
And the words are these, and you have to say them with sincerity. How can I help? It's the best response to almost every situation.
Yahoo! I thought you were going to say, we are a team.
I think that's where couldn't get it into form. And Mike really does it. He walks in and helps. He really does. We didn't guess it.
Sorry, I was caught on that. Catherine.
One year we went on a trip for Christmas, and so we weren't, like, my mom was trying to, like, help us have things to open that were presents, because our trip was kind of our Christmas present, and so we wrote notes to each other and put them in our stockings. And that was so fun on Christmas Day to open all of these notes from all through the Christmas season of just why we loved each other, or things, you know, like memories or whatever, and I loved that tradition, and we haven't done it since, but I'd love to make it more of a tradition in my home to like give each other that gift throughout the season of nice words.
Thank you. Grandma Darlene?
I would say, upon retiring, if you have problems, try and work them out before you retire and have a peaceful
He means like each night, not like when you're 65.
Okay, Mike and I have a Christmas tradition. We love to listen to the Forgotten Carols.
Ask Donna. Yeah, we drove home from Vegas this last time and we were belting it out in the car. And
Vibrato style.
Oh, heck yeah.
And we always like to put our tree up to the music of the Forgotten Carols. And we also have another tradition that happens very frequently, and that is forgiveness. Mike is the one that carries this tradition out for us. Very well for us. You know, like just the other day I locked my keys in the van and he has to come open it for me, and just countless things that are just silly things that I do, and he just forgives me, and you know, I just really appreciate it, and it goes a long way. So my advice is forgiveness.
She loves me back, gives me loving, so. Well, but I was gonna say, I have a, just with Kory, I mean, when did you guys start dating? Do you remember?
Beginning of summer sometime.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think they had only gone on one date, and Kirsten and I were moving into our house, and we needed someone with a truck, and he was the only one I knew with a truck, and literally, I think it literally had only been one date. He came over, and he's moving beds with me, and, you know, just really helped us out, and that's just one thing I would just, you know, I liked that quality. He did it. He spent a lot of time and came over on a couple of different occasions and helped us out, and I just, you know, appreciate him for that. And I think that's one thing. I don't have much to give to the family, but I always try to be helpful, and I can see that about you, and you know, I really think that's why we connect.
It was fun as our little date night, putting up
So
beds.
keep it up, just keep up the service, and you know, just what you do, and I appreciate it.
Curtis?
We have a tradition of writing each other a letter. We do that on Christmas. We also do it on birthdays and that kind of thing, like not just a card, but like an actual letter. But I look forward to that more. Usually you know what you're going to get. So, not to diminish the letter, but I really enjoy those letters. To be honest with timing, sometimes you don't necessarily care for each other when you get the letter, so it's nice to read the letter. Which leads to my advice. So my advice is to give each other the benefit of the doubt. So whenever she does something that annoys you, it's not inherently her who has done it. It's only females in general. And vice versa. So there's things that the other sex may do to bother you. It's not their fault.
Very good.
Oh, my memory of Natalie is the first time I met the family. I was right here at this opening, and Natalie came up to me, and this is the first time I'd met her. And she's like, "What are you doing with my cousin?" I was a little taken aback, and it's a good thing I got to know you better and found out that you have a great sense of humor. I really. I missed that afterwards.